What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy. Can't tell me what you shit. Hey man, say man, we are lit, eh? Lit that shit, man. Turn. This motherfucking day. Your hood outside. Big crip in it. Gang, your hood outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo. Russia your thing in Texas. Stand the fuck up. Each day is a new day to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring you down, always strike back. Never let somebody tell you who you are. But also never put yourself in a position you don't belong. Let's stay humble. Let's get on a revolution on this movement. Keep Yahweh first. Coming to you as a black kid, Israelite, as a real Jew. Let's get into this bitch. Alright. Today, it's a motherfucking day. Your hood outside. Big crip in it. Gang, your hood outside shit, man. Man. We living in trying times. You know what I'm saying? For speaking the real, you'll get taken out. Having power and control as a black man, they'll do anything to bring you down. So we've been talking about Kanye West and Cardi. Yes, Kanye West does a lot of bozo shit that I don't agree with. But at the same time, it's a lot of stuff that I do agree with. You know what I'm saying? This shit right here, man, with Cardi. I ain't never seen what's so awesome about Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got some loyal ass fans, random ass fans, and a lot of fans who support him, who will buy his music and his collectibles. You know what I'm saying? Cardi B I keep saying Cardi B. Cardi and Kanye used to be closest friends. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, they just can't get along no more. You know what I'm saying? That way it can be. When you get that fame, success, and you're around a lot of political people who won't let you express how you truly feel and want you to go at each other. Also, we got Kanye West going at Cameron and Virgil. We got Cameron and Virgil. Cameron, you know, Kanye West made that dick sucking song by his cousin. Wild shit. So, you know, Cameron said something. Kanye said something. It was an argument. They got into some beef. And he also talks about Virgil. Virgil is one of the artists that was with Kanye West. He was like a designer. He helped create a lot of stable companies that we know today and help make these current companies stronger than what they used to be. So we got this video, man. Tell me how y'all feel about it. Let's get into it. Alright, gang, we got Kanye West. Shout out to Dominic Kowalski. Man, it's gonna be about Cardi B. I said Cardi B. Cardi and Kanye West. Why do they beef? They used to be cool as fuck.
Kanye West are an iconic duo that have come a long way. From first meeting in 2015, where Carti was a nobody, whilst Ye was of course his legendary self, to working on many albums and hit songs together in modern times. Without a doubt, these
why
two
couldn't it have worked out?
who also have the same traits. Can create addictive and incredible music, whilst also being terrible people and treating their fans like trash. Now, even with the two seemingly being very close and even supposedly working on a collab album together, their friendship came to an abrupt end in the March of 2025, which led to Ye exposing Carti for many of his dirty actions. So here is a story of Playboi Carti and Ye. So, we'll need to bring it back all the way to 2016, where at this point in time, Carti was only 20 years old and had just signed to A$AP Rocky's Orge Collective with no real music out yet. Whilst Ye, well, he was in the middle of his legendary career, dropping his 7th studio album, The Life of Pablo, in that year. Well, in September, during a good music pop-up show, out of nowhere, Ye would bring out Carti to perform his song What?
Carti.
Obviously an absolutely insane moment for someone who didn't even have an official mixtape out yet. And if we compare it to something like his 2025 Rolling Loud performance of I Am Music, it really shows us how far Carti has come. And speaking of Carti's I Am Music album, you can now get I Am Music posters at domikowski.com. So first we got this like dedication inspired one here, I think it looks pretty sick. Then we got this plain I Am Music one with just the logo, and then also this kind of fit pick one. Here's all of them together, they come in all shapes and sizes. Alright guys, so here's all of them together, we got this dedication one.
If y'all want to check them out and get these posters and whatever album, y'all
can. That's just the I Am Music logo on again, but the smallest size. So that's XL, that's L, that's medium, that's small. Go check them out now, domikowski.com.
Damn,
Go buy them for
Carti was going crazy.
And we're dropping way more like Ken Carson, Travis Scott, Destroy Lonely, whatever. We're dropping a bunch of other ones like that. And this really shown us how much Ye believed in Carti from early on. He literally only had a couple songs out on SoundCloud, yet Ye saw he had the talent and ability. So he decided to put him on the front stage in front of his own fans. And more recently, Ye had actually spoken about this moment, mentioning how even back then, Carti had that something special.
What makes Carti so special to you? Like, it's like on some like Ye, and like it's like the super young Ye energy. What is it about?
You know, super young Ye energy.
Back when we did season 3,
oh, he said Kale
we had
gay.
a concert afterwards. Right. And at the season 3 fashion show, we had a concert, and we were in a smaller venue, and you know, he went to the stage and just all the kids lit up. Like it was a different level of energy. That was 10 years ago, 9-10 years ago. Man. And since then, it's just, you know, this trajectory is just crazy. He's getting better and better and just honing his skills. And, you know, he's considered to be the best live performer at this point.
Towards the end of that year, Carti would also be seen taking pictures in a Donda t-shirt, which is of course Ye's late mother. And fun fact, later that year at a show, Carti would take that shirt off and throw it into the crowd. A fan actually caught it, took it home, and since has posted pictures of the shirt on Reddit, claiming he is still yet to wash it. Average Carti fan, I guess you could say. And continuing into 2017, the two would remain in touch. Carti would be seen modeling for Yeezy Season 5 and wearing the sample Wave Runners, which would go on to be one of the most talked about shoes. That same day, they also snapped the iconic first ever photo of them together, solidifying their bond even further. If I had to guess how all of this came together, I'd say it was probably thanks to Ian Connor, the creative who played a major role in Carti's early career. Ian wasn't just Carti's manager, he was also one of Ye's fashion proteges, being not only a model but also a consultant, giving Ye ideas and input on designs, with it probably being him bringing the two artists together. But despite all of Ye's early recognition of Carti's potential, the two didn't link up publicly again until the rollout of Whole Lotta Red, over 3 years later. Of course, this doesn't mean they weren't working together behind the scenes, we just didn't see it. Both Carti and Ye have always been experts at keeping things low-key, staying mysterious, and leaving their work in the shadows. But I feel like during the period they were together, the two weren't really working on music. As I said, Ye was introduced to Carti through Ian Connor, in a more so of a fashion, model kind of sense, not through music. And of course, during this period, Ye had his own good music label with the likes of Travis Scott, moving up in the industry, which is probably where Ye's focus was at. So he may just not have had any interest in Carti. But it was still, of course, great exposure for him, being able to perform next to Ye at his own pop-up, whilst also modelling for him. An incredible connection. Anyways, fast forward to the November of 2020, Carti was deep into the rollout of Whole Lotta Red, as he would post a snippet on Instagram of him dancing to Ye's verse from the song Go to the Moon, while standing on a balcony in the middle of the night like a true vampire, captioning it, OK at Kanye West, making it clear that this track was likely going to be on the album whilst featuring the Chicago artist. He also thanked Young Lord in the caption, which is A$AP Bari's Instagram, probably giving him credit for making this collab happen. He's well known for being a co-founder of the ASAP Mob and popular streetwear brand Vlone, with him even having done an interview with Carti and Ian all the way back in 2017, showing us how long they have all known each other. But this song would actually cause some issues, as Barry would later clear things up on his Instagram 2 years after the album dropped, saying he played a Ye song produced by Weezy for Carti, which of course allowed Carti the opportunity to have Ye on the album. This led to him complaining that Carti didn't give him credit for getting Ye on Whole Lotta Red. When you play Carti a Kanye song you had in your phone produced by Weezy, even though Carti never paid me or gave me credit on the album, but that goes to a lot of rapper I've helped out but never got credit for. I mean, Carti did kind of thank him in the caption, so, he did kind of credit him, but Barry didn't get paid or given an actual writing credit on the song, so that's probably what he's mad about. Which honestly is weird coming from him, as Carti has always been supportive of Barry, even when he probably shouldn't have been, especially back in 2017. Barry was facing sexual assault accusations, which led to fans shouting F Barry at a show, to which Carti would tell them, nah, ain't no F Barry, that's my brother, but he did wrong. Anyways, eventually on the Christmas day of 2020, Carti's Whole Lotta Red would drop, 24 tracks supposedly executively produced by Ye, with him even featuring on the track Go to the Moon, which actually was originally a song Ye recorded for a future song titled In Abundance for his Purple Rain mixtape. Now, the song never made it onto the album that ended up dropping in 2016. Even with the song not being used, Ye would keep it and actually re-recorded his verse over a Weezy beat in 2018, titling it Bipolar, with this verse being the one you would hear on Whole Lotta Red today. Now, this was obviously a huge look for Carti. Arguably the biggest and most influential rapper ever has just given you a feature and executively produced your most important project yet. Ye clearly believed in Carti and wanted the world to see his work. Now, of course, that's what it looks like on paper. If Ye actually executively produced the album, nobody knows. Some fans are saying he just says that to make headlines, while some are saying Ye actually played a big part. Throughout 2019 and 2020, it seemed like Carti was constantly scrapping the album and didn't really want to drop, to then in December of 2020, going to Wyoming with Ye for 2 weeks and recording 60 new tracks and eventually dropping the album, all in a very short time. So it can be said, Ye actually played a very big part in Carti just finishing the album in general. A couple of months after Whole Lotta Red dropped, Carti sat down with Inked Mag and talked about how Ye got involved in the album. They wrote, Carti had 16 tracks finalized for Whole Lotta Red, but then Ye West called, offering to help workshop the project. They recorded 16 more tracks, both at West Jackson Hole Studio and at his home in Calabasas, making West, now featured on Go to the Moon, the album's executive producer. I felt like a little boy again, just smiling, being around him, Carti says. He's a creative genius and I feel the same way about myself. It's like he understood everything I was on and I understood everything he was on. He wasn't no yes man, but he just understood my vision and he rocked with it. One of these additional 16 tracks Carti and Ye recorded right before the release of Whole Lotta Red would be Made It or Opipsy. The song is very similar to Made It This Far by Carti, as this track contains Ye and Carti reflecting on their journey to success. The song's first version will be created on the 6th of December in 2020, where at this point in time it was just Kanye vocals over an Oji Volta beat. Just over 2 weeks later, on the 23rd of December, Carti would hop on the song and record his verse, with the song obviously never making it to an official release, however would eventually surface online on the 11th of September of 2023. Now this song actually has a very interesting and funny backstory. So obviously this was a Carti and Ye track that was recorded right before the release of Whole Lotta Red. Well, after hackers compromised the iCloud account that contained the song, they would convince a British rapper Lanty Foe to record a verse on the song as they emailed him posing as Carti's team, basically saying they want a feature from him. Another one of these tracks that would also be recorded during this period would be Off the Grid, which many of you will be familiar with from Ye's 2021 release, Donda. This song would also be recorded around December of 2020, which we only know about because a fan actually snuck outside of a Belgian hotel they were staying at and recorded the song playing from Kanye's speakers, which which the fan would upload to YouTube with the title "Outside Kanye's Apartment, Playboi Carti Holding a Red League." But that wasn't the only time Carti spoke on Ye's involvement. Around that same time, he also did a piece with Interview magazine where he sat down with Kid Cudi, who actually ended up on the album for the track Metamorphosis, with the music video for that track showing Carti and Cudi chilling inside one of Ye's Yeezy trucks, which was probably gifted to him by Ye. During the interview, Cudi asked Carti, Ye executively produced this record. Talk about working with him. What did he bring to the project? Ye is the OG. He opened my eyes to some When I got around him, I realized why I love him so much. You get what I'm saying? When I get around you, I realize why I love you so much. I even appreciate Ye for introducing me and you. Being able to talk to somebody who understands what I'm saying, I got that from his whole camp. I felt that energy from everybody he deals with. I didn't feel like a loner. The world I'm trying to build, he already got it going on. Ye is on the King Vamp Cudi is on this King Vamp you're already on that. To which Cudi would reply with, Ye is the ultimate big bro. He's someone good to have in your corner. To which Carti would say, all family vibes. As I've said multiple times, Ye really believed in Carti, and Carti was definitely feeling Ye's influence, with this really being just the start of their many collaborations, as from here on out, they'd continue working closely together. In 2021, Ye was working on finishing his album Donda, and to speed things up, he moved into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Carti's hometown of Atlanta, paying around $1 million per day to stay there. Carti seemed to spend a lot of time at the stadium too, as he was spotted in photos and even a leaked vlog during the Donda sessions. Carti would record verses for Junior and Off the Grid, with both of them appearing on Donda when it was officially released in the August of 2021. But there was one song Carti recorded solo during the sessions that didn't make it on the album or get an official release. 24 songs, or also known as Made It This Far. It was one of Carti's most popular unreleased tracks, where he reflects on his career and the success of Whole Lotta Red, struggling to process it all. The song was first previewed by the producer Digital Nat in the July of 2021, quickly becoming a grail for the Carti community. Unfortunately, it leaked in the March of 2023, meaning it probably won't get an official release. And of course, with music now dropping without it on it, it definitely will not see the light of day. But this hasn't stopped fans from constantly begging for it to drop, even in 2025, with fans anticipating it will drop on music. Moving into 2022, Carti and Ye will continue working together, this time on Donda 2. In February, Carti and one of his emo opium goons performed at the album's listening party, with Donda 2 marking Kanye's first independent release after his contract with Def Jam ended. Ye made the bold move to release the album exclusively on his STEM player, meaning it wouldn't land on any major streaming platforms. The album's release, however, was pretty messy. Some songs made it to the STEM player, but many tracks were either missing, or just leaked entirely. From the Donda 2 era, we know Carti featured on Mr. Miyagi alongside Future, and also appeared on City of Gods, where Carti can only be heard providing ad-libs. When the album first dropped on the STEM player in February, Carti shared a text exchange on Instagram between him and Ye. Ye had texted, "Let's go on tour," to which Carti responded with a picture of himself and the caption, "My funeral gon' be lit." It definitely looks like Carti was hinting at a tour, and it seemed possible. Ye hadn't toured since his 2016 St. Pablo tour, which was cut short due to his hospitalization for exhaustion. This quickly led to rumors about a potential collab album between the two. An Instagram account, Dexomi, known for posting celebrity gossip, shared a story that hinted at a collaboration between two well-known hip-hop artists, where throughout the post there would be hints it was Ye and Carti. Pseudonyms: Please, Pablo Narcissist. Subject: Narcissist forces at work. Message: Blog my email. Two well-known hip-hop artists share a similar story and are joining together to create an album. Both have been seen in and out of the studio together, and artist number 2 had scrapped the original concept prior to the team-up. Now obviously, simply from the fact they said Pablo and Narcissist, it's obviously about Carti and Ye. Ye having his The Life of Pablo album, and Carti having his scrapped Narcissist project. Later that day, Dexomi posted again, claiming they had been in the studio with Ye and Carti multiple times while they worked on the album. They described the project as an experimental album with heavy rock elements, which honestly seemed somewhat believable given Carti's Whole Lotta Red and Ye's production on it. Adding to the speculation, a Ye fan page called Donda's Place posted a picture of Ye and Carti during the Donda sessions at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2021, captioning it "Narcissistic Powers, fueling the fire even more." And at this time, it made sense why these rumors seemed believable. Ye had been working closely with Carti for years. He even said he wanted to go on tour with him, and there were even insider reports of the two working on an experimental album together. And with the fact that during this period, the only pictures Carti had on his Instagram were of Ye, but as the months went by, the dream of a Ye x Carti collaborative album slowly faded, turning into nothing more than a memory. We would get information that Carti was supposed to model for Ye's Yeezy Season 9 runaway show in late 2022, however, this never actually happened. This was the same runaway show where Ye debuted his White Lives Matter t-shirt, which may have been the reason Carti didn't want to do it, as Ye could have told him his plans and Carti could have been like, "Man, I don't want to be associated with that kind of stuff," because it's not like Carti wouldn't walk the show. He's done it in the past for Virgil Blows Off-White, and of course Yeezy back in 2017. Now in 2023, insiders from the Yeezy Cord Discord server dropped some wild info about a planned Ye and Carti tour that ultimately got cancelled. According to the insiders, Kanye and Carti tour was called Introvert. It went through many creative changes and ideas and was supposed to span like 20 to 25 weeks. They also revealed that Lil Uzi Vert was meant to join the tour as a special guest, which is pretty surprising considering Uzi wasn't featured on any of the Donda albums and he and Carti hadn't really been seen together much during this time. But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense that Uzi would be part of the tour. Ye has a huge admiration for Uzi, just like he does for Carti, which he actually mentioned during his 2022 Drink Champs interview.
Uzi the future. I just need to tell you that. Lil Uzi.
Lil Uzi,
like, remember I said future?
Yes, you said it on here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah, Lil Uzi not panning out.
Really, you know what it is? It's always two. It's always two at a time. You know what I mean? It's really Carti and Uzi. It's really Carti and Uzi. Playboi, Carti, and Uzi.
So even though Uzi and Carti haven't done much work together publicly, it seems like Ye wanted to bring them all together for something big.
That would have been
Ye and Carti
biggest
insiders
best
also
ever.
mentioned that the tour was supposed to kick off around the February of 2023, but it got cancelled due to Kanye's controversial comments about Adolf Hitler and the Jewish community during his interview with Alex Jones. Now, if the tour was ready to set off that early in the year and last all the way through to the end of 2023, well, that would have left both artists with barely any time to work on new music, which, could have been another reason why it got cancelled. As of course, during this time, Carti was working very hard on his album, Music. Now, even though at this point the idea of a collab album or even a tour seems pretty dead, Ye and Carti continue to work together behind the scenes. In the August of 2023, an insider revealed that Ye was back in the studio with not just Carti, but also with a whole Opium collective. And of course, as we know, this led to a bunch of new songs being dropped as we moved into 2024. Now, with Ye and Carti being constantly spotted together, not only performing, but working on new music, fans were expecting Ye to play a huge part in Carti's album, I Am Music. Not only producing and the creative direction, but even potentially featuring on the album. Carti did 3 verses on Vultures 1 and 2, so why wouldn't Ye rap on music? Well, on the 14th of March, Playboi Carti's 3rd studio album would drop. An enormous 30-track long project, yet no feature from Ye, and only 1 production credit, which was on Backdoor featuring Kendrick Lamar. Well, it got even weirder, as Ye's production from Backdoor would actually end up getting removed for no reason, which left fans very confused. Did Ye not produce the beat, or is Carti's team trying to hide Ye from the project due to his recent controversies? I mean, Carti tagged Ye when he posted the snippet to his Instagram, so it was definitely the label trying to hide it. Very fishy. But fans didn't really take any of this seriously. I mean, Carti was spotted working on Bully, and after music released, Ye followed Carti and reposted the album announcement, with him also tweeting Carti is his favourite artist days before the release of Music, with Ye even revealing that the two were working on an actual collaborative album showing some sort of vinyl with a picture of the two from the 2024 music video, making it seem we might actually get it. But little did fans know, this would be the beginning of the end for the two. The next tweet Ye would put out would be about him and Carti having a collaborative project on the way, which got scrapped. We were working on a project called Carti Ye, I'm sorry that this won't happen now, from Carti's actual twin, with the last part being a shot at Kendrick, the first of many, as Kendrick called Carti his evil twin on the music. But Ye's tweet would only get worse from here onwards, as he would say, Jewish people forced Carti to not put me on the album.
Fact.
With him here probably meaning Carti's label persuading him to not put Ye on the album due to his public controversies. But it seemed like after Carti told Ye's former wife, Kim Kardashian, he would do a verse for Ye's daughter, North, he got triggered and had enough of Carti and in general everyone, as he would go on an absolute Twitter rampage. I held my tongue about not being on Carti album. Him going to my ex to ask my daughter to be on a song 2 days later was too far. Nobody finna play with me. I mean, I kinda get it. Imagine one of your peers leaves you off his album, then goes and tells your ex-wife he'll do a verse for your daughter. And Ye would then put out an official statement regarding Carti doing a verse for North. I decided North won't be doing any songs with Carti, how it would look for me to get left off the album, and then he asked Kim to have vocals from my daughter. I don't give a F about none of this industry and how it's a Skims line in the first place. And I don't give a F what no comments, the man has the first and final say over his kids. I mean, yeah, as I said, Carti is going to leave him off the album, then ask him for a verse from North. Kinda crazy disrespect, even if he didn't mean it. Now, Ye would then put out a couple tweets regarding him, Kim, and his daughter, but would then get back onto Carti and how he supposedly gave him his biggest songs, but then left him off the album due to his tweets. Hey North, your dad gave me my biggest song and cosign and I left him off my album because of his tweets. Oh, but North, you my niece, I gotta use your vocals. Basically, mocking Carti. Now, this tweet got a lot of people talking. Did Ye really give Carti his biggest song? In reference to Carnival from Vulture's One. Now, a lot of Carti fans did say Carti was the reason it did go number one, which honestly, I struggle to disagree with. Carti's verse was kind of the standout point. But it would only keep on getting crazier from Ye, as he would then begin to tweet at Carti's baby mother and rapper Iggy Azalea. Hey Iggy Azalea, I need to get Onyx vocals on my song, that's my nephew. Oh, and I'm a rap about one of your businesses, the F, as I'm pretty sure Ye owns Skims, or has some sort of ownership role. With this being Ye, of course, again, trolling Carti as he said he'd do a verse for North and mentioning Skims in one of his songs. Now, funnily enough, Iggy would respond to Ye, basically saying, look, I get it, but please stop creating a terrible online history with my son's name. I mean, he's already cooked. His father's a lying deadbeat, his mother does OF, and now he got dissed by Ye, all before the age of 6. During this spree of tweets, he would also reveal that he was supposed to feature on a very popular Carti song, F on My DJ, with this song actually being very good, which left fans surprised that it didn't make the album. Some fans are thinking, did Carti potentially not drop it because he didn't want to cut Ye's verse, as of course his label probably wouldn't let him release it with Ye on it. And then one more about Iggy, saying he intentionally didn't smash her because of Carti, whilst also saying the same thing about a bunch of other rappers. But so far, honestly, a lot of people couldn't tell if Ye was actually beefing, or was, a little bit upset with him due to the North situation. Well, we would soon find out. Firstly, Ye would tweet out calling Carti the F-slur, which is funnily enough when we would see Carti first respond. Maybe he's a little bit insecure about his sexuality. But anyways, he would keep it sweet, short and simple, Ye STFU. To which Ye would fire back with, Carti is just a way more basic, dumber version of Virgil, finessing Ye and Drake cosigns. Which he would then follow up with saying in a video that he actually put Carti on.
Party stupid. This thing is stupid, bro. It's like you don't know when I'm dealing with my kids. This ain't your niece. This is my daughter. Don't fuck with me, boy. Don't play with me. You letting these white people use us against each other. You letting these Jews use us against each other, nigga. I put you on, nigga.
With him then saying he's going to destroy Carti's career, he beats women, he wants to legally burn him in a gas chamber, and would also call him a deadbeat. Now, we wouldn't get an official response from Carti, however, we would see him post a close-up picture of him wearing Adidas sneakers, which may be a way of him trying to troll Ye, as of course, he had a whole ordeal with Adidas after he got cancelled. Now, I guess Ye's idea of destroying Carti's career is by trying to tell the world he hurts women, which, unfortunately, most people don't care about or they already know. So I don't think that was really going to work. Now, Ye would also end up dropping his album Bully on the 19th of March with a feature from Carti on the song Melrose. However, would then say he's going to redo the song without him on it later on. A couple of weeks after music released, Ye would agree to do an interview with hip-hop streamer Academics where he spoke about how Carti was his final heartbreak whilst dressed in a black leather pointy hat suit.
I'm with Carti's cat. Give me a call. I tell you who gave you my pocket. Answer that question first. Cash, tap in. We brag ground. These industries are extorting us. Black on black violence. Information is cute. These are setting you up. Yeah, I could definitely see that. But perfect setup. You mentioned my daughter. Tonight I get to end the movie. And I'm going to end the movie with somebody for sure. You think he did that purposely? Or do you think he just thought it was kind of trap because Tim knows this? You still not car you married. There are some people feel like it's just random coincidences, or it looks like you're doing that to with me. Because you left me off the album. If you my dog, one of my actual friends or someone that could call my daughter, their niece, will reach out to a woman that I got issues with. I'll be sorry. That's I don't know street on the pink color, but I know that is not street code. I know that part. Like, is that okay? That part of it. Before we even get to me being mad. No, I did. Like, it's like an ex, like whiter than my ex. You know what I mean? Like if you my man's and my ex, well, if my baby mom was whiter, why you using a Nauser? But you're reposting my baby mom, and not even reposting me. You was the first day throwing down there. It's like the Cardi. It's like the final heartbreak. I have about this black woman. How do you run up? Can't you do can't kill me because a coward dies 1,000 deaths. And it's the final heartbreak. Juicy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there ain't on the album. Like, it seems like the
So, of course, Ye was very unhappy with the fact not only did Carti repost Ye's ex, Kim Kardashian, but also the fact he said he wants a verse from his daughter after leaving him off the album. I can see why Ye is angry about this, as it is odd behavior, especially if Ye is your man's. But, this is Playboi Carti, the biggest snake of them all. Ye would then go on to reveal that him and Carti were in fact working on a collab tape, which he has mentioned previously, and will also speak about Carti's album, Music.
It seems like if that felt like you were going to be like, you guys work on music. Yes, it's going to be the day I did Will's Fall Off, that's when Carti got the song with Doug and Ty. It's in the studio. We was working on, he sent me the song, we was talking about doing a mixtape, and then, a gentleman named Peter told me like on Wednesday or Thursday too, or whatever it was like all his Carti albums going up Friday. I was like, what? I was like, well, where's but on that note, it feels like on Carti album like he's doing everybody a favor though too. He need to have all the features. It felt like, oh, he hot right now, and he had to do Uzi a favor, or this a favor, that favor, and it's just like, and this level, obviously the album could be better. At this level, it's a different level of experience that's needed to handle dirty songs, to understand how to be running those producers. Like, Carti is a genius in its own right. It's another thing to run that Donda Stadium. And it's just what they call it, ambitious. Like, that amount of songs is really ambitious.
It's sad to see them fall out this way. I personally and many other fans thought these two were going to be an incredible lifelong duo. Go to the Moon,
Sometimes
Off the Grid, and Carnival, straight bangers. It's a real shame we probably won't see them again in the future, with their final collab possibly being Ye producing a backdoor on Music with Kendrick Lamar, who Ye hates. And unless they somehow become friends again, that will be the final collab. But most recently, on the 1st of April, Ye would tweet "I love Carti," which honestly, no one knows if it's an April Fool's joke or Ye actually rekindling his relationship with Carti. I do think it's salvageable. I don't think anything crazy has actually happened between them, especially with the fact it mostly seems like Carti's label is forcing him not to be in contact with Ye, instead of Carti himself choosing not to be with Ye. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Crip, we gotta have our own shit.
The line is the home.
Shout out to Forgotten Kings, man. We've been talking about the Cameron Mace react to Kanye West. They had some beef going on.
What's going on, world? It's your homie Sensei ripping them back again with another video. Over the weekend, Kanye made a shocking confession while promoting his latest single, Cousins. Okay, for those who may not know, Kanye made a post. As we all know, he's no stranger to controversy. However, in this post, people wasn't ready for this one. Okay, now, listen.
Was they ready at all?
Prepare yourself, because this is crazy. In a post on Twitter over the weekend, Kanye said, "This song is called Cousins, okay? It's about my cousin that's locked up in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboi magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I blanked my cousin's blank till I was 14. Okay,
damn.
Now again, this tweet right here
this shit just like
a
off
lot
the
of
boom,
reactions from people.
nigga.
Because again, we understand Kanye is no stranger to controversy. However, he's been very desperate to get everyone's attention. And at this point, it's like, yo, if you gotta go to these lengths to get people's attention, all because you've done so much, you've exhausted the people so much with the antics, it's like he's running empty. Okay, he's running low in regards to the tactics that he's accustomed to using when getting people to talk about Kanye. You get what I mean? He likes to be talked about. That's just who he is. Remember, we've had several moments, right, in the past where he's made controversial posts. However, making this type of admission, this type of confession.
Kanye will be on some shit, nigga.
Some of it be on some real, some of it be on some song, if you listen to it, you can hear Kanye rapping about it. I can't play the video that he uploaded because it was graphic as well. But the point is, Kanye is, man, he's on one. Okay, now, of course, this morning, Cam and Mace, they were able to give their take on Kanye's shocking confession over the weekend because, again, that's crazy, man. I can't even, like I said, sometimes you can't even put words together to try to make sense of what Kanye is trying to do, right? I see so many of his fans
wake people up to this shit.
They'll fight for him to the end, but this one, you haven't seen too many people defend Kanye and his actions. Okay, now, like I said, we had Cam and Mace earlier today. They gave their reaction because, again, a lot of people have distanced themselves from Kanye.
They have.
And rightfully so, because, man, what are you supposed to say in that situation?
So the fuck with your
boy? You know what I mean? All we've been able to do is say, listen, pray for Ye.
Brothers and loyalty over money on the
Let's pray for Ye. Let's pray for him. But that ain't working, clearly. That ain't working. And that's the unfortunate part, because Kanye and his legacy,
I know that nigga somewhere in jail like, what the fuck, nigga, I'm in prison for the rest of my life. I'm telling about
for him and his legacy, because again, the start of his career, the music, I mean, damn. Like I said, very disappointing, but enough of my soapbox rant. Here is Cam and Mace, and them giving their take on Kanye and his controversial post over the weekend. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get right.
To have you back, you've been missed.
Yeah.
But it has been a crazy week. In your opinion, what do you feel like? Freaky week.
A freaky week.
In your opinion, what do you feel like was the craziest headline you saw?
I don't know which one is crazy. No. The Kanye one was crazy. That was crazy.
For sure.
I don't even know what to say. Some things you just gotta stay out of. Pause. You gotta stay out of that one.
Okay.
I just found out about the Kanye thing this morning when y'all guys brought it up. I didn't even know this was a thing.
It's been going crazy on TikTok.
So for those who don't know,
because I didn't know.
I'm covering my ears.
Yeah, Ye just posted a tweet basically saying that he released a new song called Cousin. It was about his sexual relations that he had with his male cousin. They were reading inappropriate sexual things. They did the acts upon each other, and basically him saying after the fact that cousin got in some legal trouble, and he felt like he may have had something to do with it by telling them they could not participate in dirty things anymore with each other. So basically, they were sucking each other. Yeah.
They was what?
They was sucking on each other.
Niggas be conveniently gay. like, yo, it's like, yo, let's be gay for a little while now because it's popping. So now let's talk about when I was gay at one time. Yo, and I don't have nothing against gay people. Like I said, I respect the gay people that say they gay. I don't really like the people when I'm talking about gay people that's hiding that they're gay in the closet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
Come
weird.
on, say that you gay. If that's what you're doing, cool. Kanye been in the public eye for at least going on 20 years, if not longer. Maybe 22, 23 years, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. And now you gay or have gay acts or whatever the point be, shit ain't working. Everything he got going on ain't seem to been working. He had swastikas. He's Hitler last month, wasn't he? Hitler? And then he was a KKK nigga about 3 weeks ago. Now he molested his cousin and he gonna do a song about it. It's just too convenient. See, and you know what I like what academics did, to be totally honest with you? What academics did was he filmed everything in that interview. Now imagine that interview would have started with the KKK shit on. You would be like, oh, this nigga's crazy. Oh, this nigga Kanye is wild. He filmed when he came in. Kanye was a regular person. Hey, man, how you doing? What's happening? Cool? Let me go change and put my shit on. Come back out, now let me get the BA now. Then when they thought the interview was over and they stopped taping, he took the shit off and was a regular cool nigga again. I would go for some of this shit, pause. If
nigga is hot as hell, hot ass KKK
like around. When I'm around Kanye, I don't see none of the crazy shit. I haven't been around him in years, but maybe like 3 years ago, I've seen him for about an hour or two. But he's a regular guy that wanted to rap and did hot beats and so on and so forth. And he figured out a lane for himself. He started with snatching shit and paparazzi on his pictures, got around the right bitches that made his celebrity grow and made their celebrity grow too. And, I remember Dave talking about Cam, he's bipolar, he don't be taking his medicine. I never knew this. I'm not saying he is, and I'm not playing with people who are bipolar, I get it. I just never seen none of this shit. I've been around Kanye for a long time ago. I just didn't see a murder. Is that still your son?
That's a freak. Oh my gosh.
You said I was your son. No, but your son aside, I just wanted
That was a good. I gotta pray for Ye, man. I don't know that guy, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't know what to say. This is just wow, yo.
It's just a yes or no question.
That person is not my son.
Okay. Got you. Hey, what I'm saying is, if this is true, what I will say is this. I lived in Chicago for about 5 years. Shout out to the West Side, K-Town, all my niggas on the South Side, the Hunnits and everything. Everybody know I stayed up in Chicago for about a good 4 or 5 years. And Chicago is one of the best towns, best cities. I love Chicago because I got New York vibes, but
they said there's like
it was super duper violence. Don't get that.
It used to be really good, but to all the shit
like
that
it wasn't
happened.
New York, like New York girls was a little rough or whatever. It was like New York vibes. I'm talking about, to me, the West Side reminded me of Harlem. South Side was like Brooklyn. They got trains, they have a downtown, etc. It was landscape wise, it was like New York, and I had a real good time. But, and I'm not saying nothing about the city of Chicago, but 2 of the biggest superstars ever. There's some molestation, nasty peeing on bitches shit. There's a lot of shit going on with 2 of the biggest superstars ever, not just from Chicago, ever in music history, where some personal nasty shit going on.
Niggas
We don't know
at the
what was
end of the
going
day.
on up there like that. This is before I got there, obviously, but y'all putting a stain on a good city, man. Y'all need to cut the shit, baby.
With the YouTube music.
I'll just add.
It sound like you want to say something.
Nah, it just seemed like Ye going through a lot, you know.
Yes.
I think he's really just trying to. I hope he's trying to find his way back to himself. But you gotta have the right people around you and things like that. Because when something like this comes out, I reached out to a few people that I know used to be close to him, but they're no longer close to him. So I don't know really who's around. And I pray he make it back because this is crazy. I wouldn't do all of this to sell music. I definitely wouldn't. Like what you were saying, Killer, I believe that's what's happening, but I definitely wouldn't do this to sell music.
We know you wouldn't do it. Do you believe he's doing it?
I definitely, but I think he's definitely using it to sell the music, and that's the sad part about it.
Yeah, and not only that, and listen, I want to get better too. I'm gonna stop feeling sorry for niggas with money, because there's niggas with no money who getting evicted tomorrow. They don't got the rent money. Somebody died in their family, they can't pay for the funeral.
They gotta get that. They gotta get them cremated.
Projects where they don't
Can't
like
get no
niggas on the other side of projects. Niggas shooting on this side of projects. Niggas up the block don't like niggas down the block. You gotta stay in that environment. Yeah, you can get on a flight and go anywhere. I'm not gonna keep feeling sorry for niggas who could change their circumstances. It's niggas who stuck in certain circumstances who can't change their circumstances, but we steady giving pity to niggas who could change their environment. I'm not doing it. I hope my man get his rent money that he need because I gave it to him last month. Hopefully he'll get it again this month. It's situations like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I hope that it's another nigga I know. Last year, I helped his son pay for his tuition. It's another year. They have to pay for a tuition coming up this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna help out, but that's his kid. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't my man like that. You know, I do good because his son is good. I like his son a lot. But the point being is, it's niggas in that type of situation.
Yeah.
We got to stop this.
Feeling sorry for niggas who know better.
Yeah.
I like that. I can go with that.
Yeah, man. Because if it was a situation, like I said, when I see that,
but I mean, you letting everybody know what's going on, man. This industry is a wild place. If you know what's going on, this industry, they take control.
And he needed to give that statement to academics. If he would have started that interview with that on academics, it would have went viral from the jump. But it seemed like they didn't get the traction they wanted, so he's like, yo, I'm gonna amp it up.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the best person to ask about this is because we haven't been around in a while, and you know, if bipolar, not bipolar, acting right, not acting right. It's that she was with the nigga about maybe less than a year ago. She's in the room hanging out with that.
All right, y'all. That was Cam and Mace's reaction to Kanye's controversial his confession, man. It's about his cousin. I mean, just speaking on it is crazy because it's like, yo, what the hell? This is why we can appreciate Cam, right, for being honest. This is why people tune into the show because you know they're gonna keep it real. Come on, like they said, this man is desperate for attention, and because of that, he's exhausted people so much when it doesn't matter at this point. He done said everything he could possibly say to offend people. He done everything he could possibly do to offend people. But his truth. And it ain't working. You get what I mean? And, of course, everybody want to be PC. You get what I'm saying? So, we all going to say pray for Ye because at the end of the day, you don't want to see a man's downfall. You know what I mean? Especially someone who is in position to avoid all of this. You doing all this to sell music during a time when music isn't selling? I mean, come on now. Like I said, now that people haven't really reacted in the way that I guess he hoped for, now it's back to his children. You know what I mean? Now they're saying Kanye, I ain't gonna say they're saying Kanye is upset for whatever reason about the relationship with his kids right now. And that in itself, that's crazy. Because while he's doing all of this to the public, behind closed doors, this could create storms for him and his family. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, who wants to be associated with someone who's doing all of this.
Shit, I do. The fuck?
For just selfish reasons.
He doing it for the real.
And then he's liable to just switch up at any moment.
This world's getting control.
And take you in a whole different direction.
Us black people gotta fight.
We was just in the fashion industry. Now we over here talking about you, cousin. What is up, man? What's up? What's going on?
We know what's going on.
What's going on?
It's the truth.
Like I said, for me, I seen this years ago. You know, of course, the statement that he made at TMZ about slavery, you know, the Trump antics with the red hat and the blonde hair, you know, but George Floyd, for me, that was like, all right, man, come on now. You sitting there telling me.
Back then, I didn't understand what the fuck he was going through. But now I understand it.
On video, this is why the whole world was outraged, man. Come on. What are you talking about?
Here's how to never have to worry about money.
But no. You want to be around certain people who talking white supremacist talking points, and now that you piss people off, remember he went to church route, made all that money, and then you know what I mean, Swerve went into something else, doing shows in arenas and stadiums. You know, like I said, now Kanye, his documentary is going to be crazy. I don't even know if you'll be able to find an actor to be able to accurately depict Kanye because. He's one of one. That I will say, that I can admit. But like I said, witnessing all of this with Kanye, all with the hopes of promoting music, promoting product, the brand itself, you know, it isn't working anymore. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, what happened to just the talent speaking for itself? Let's get back to those days. Because right now, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of fluff.
He want to be the president.
You can see people need a lot of controversy to sell things, to promote things, because right now, people's not worried about it.
Bitch.
You know what I mean? And this right here, this is beyond extreme. That's why it's like, yo.
Nigga playing poker with the government.
And for Cam, who's worked with Ye in the past, you know, hopefully this won't cause any controversy or commotion between him and Ye, but you got to be honest. I'd rather people be honest about me and my behavior than be around people who just, you know what I mean, gassing you for their own gain. And this is why nobody's around him because, again, Kanye too high. You know what I mean? And like I said, nobody wants to take joy in witnessing a man's downfall, but hopefully Kanye can find some level of peace and put an end to all of this because this is ridiculous, okay? But like I said, y'all let me know, what are your thoughts on Cam and Mace and their reactions to Kanye and his shocking confession over the weekend after Kanye admitted to doing certain acts with his cousin? Like I said, again, this isn't a laughing matter. We understand the severity of the situation. And to be real, this conversation is way more layered. You know what I mean? This is a sensitive subject to talk about, you know what I mean, just for the sake of promoting music in the album. That's why it's not genuine. It's like, come on, man. You ripping the scab off for a lot of people who may or may not relate to what Kanye is saying, right? That's the truthful part. You know what I mean? However, Kanye, we know he's not serious. You know what I mean? Before you know it, next week he be on the posting about something else to get people's attention. But again, y'all let me know, man. What are your thoughts on your boy Ye and his shocking confession over the weekend?
I feel like he's doing the smart thing.
This is it for Kanye, considering he just
needs
exhausted a lot of people
gather this shit up
with his
and make some work with it. You know what I'm saying? Make some force with this shit.
You feel
so
like
we can change
he's
this shit around everywhere.
For whatever reason. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.
Us black people, everybody's not going
that's
down
all I got for y'all today. My name is Sensei Rip. Until next time. Peace. Salute world, I need y'all to do me a favor.
Shout out to Fash Raps. We're going to talk about Virgil.
$100 million. That is the estimated net worth of the late Virgil Abloh. A man who, even after his early passing, to this day influences the most lucrative industries in the world. Few have quite the legacy he does. Virgil Abloh wasn't just a designer, he was a movement. From graduating as a civil engineer, starting his own multi-billion-dollar brand, striking deals with Mercedes, Nike and IKEA, to becoming Louis Vuitton's first black artistic director. But one person played a key role in his rise to global fame: Kanye West. Their partnership redefined fashion, music, and culture forever. So how did Virgil go from DJing in small bars to running the world's biggest fashion house. Virgil Abloh was born in Rockford, Illinois in 1980 to Ghanaian immigrant parents. Though his mother was a seamstress, fashion wasn't his first passion. It was architecture. From a young age, Virgil's parents wanted him to exceed in academics and have the opportunity to graduate from a prestigious university. He did end up listening to their wishes. At the age of 22, Virgil graduated as a civil engineer at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. His studies were a major influence on his creative mind. But while studying, Abloh was also deeply into hip-hop, DJing at local events and sketching numerous fashion concepts in his free time. That obsession with culture would soon lead him to the undeniable pioneer of the creative scene, Kanye West. In the early 2000s, Abloh's name started circulating in Chicago's creative circles. He eventually connected with Kanye West, a small upcoming producer for Jay-Z and rapper at the time, who was looking for a creative director to help expand his influence beyond music. In 2009, they took a huge leap interning together at Fendi in Rome. While at Fendi, they didn't exactly fit in. Two black men in streetwear surrounded by traditional Italian luxury designers. But this experience shaped them both, as nothing they do fits in with the ordinary. After Fendi, Abloh became Kanye's creative director at Donda, Kanye's design agency. He worked on everything, from album covers to concert visuals and merchandise. But this role was more than just about working with Kanye. It was about how much Kanye trusted Virgil. The common experience they had as Fendi interns made them inseparable. In 2012, Virgil launched his brand Pyrex Vision, his first fashion experiment, printed the word Pyrex and the number 23 on them, and resold them for $550. It was controversial. Was it genius or just overpriced streetwear? Either way, it got people talking, something he probably learned from Kanye. In 2013, he leveled up and founded Off-White. This was not just another streetwear brand though. It was high fashion with a rebellious twist. With its signature diagonal stripes, zip ties and quotation marks, Off-White became an instant hit. The fashion world, which had ignored street brand for years, was now paying attention. And once again, Virgil Abloh pioneered a space no one else dared to place foot in. By 2016, Kanye was deep into his own clothing brand Yeezy, working with Adidas and positioning himself as the next big thing in fashion. Many expected Virgil, Kanye's longtime best friend and advisor to everything, to be part of it. But shockingly, he had other plans. Instead of following Kanye's footsteps, Virgil pursued luxury fashion, something Kanye had struggled to break into. He became a finalist for the LVMH prize, proving to the industry that he was more than just Kanye's right-hand man. He was a force of his own, and a major one at that. Then, in 2018, came the biggest moment of his career. Virgil was named artistic director of Louis Vuitton's menswear, making history as the first black designer in this role. Virgil, the man that stood beside Mr. West since day one, had taken the spot of the legendary Louis Vuitton Don. This deeply shattered Kanye and left him feeling betrayed, as he now saw him as a rival. Over the next few years, as Ye's mental state became worse, his opinion of his once greatest supporter varied even after Virgil's death, seen in his most recent rant on X, where he stated, F Virgil. On the 28th of November in 2021, Virgil Abloh tragically passed away at the age of 41, after a private battle with cancer. In his last moments, he was surrounded by his family, but his influence lives on, in Off-White, Louis Vuitton, and every young designer who dares to challenge the system.
We say is that
Virgil once said, everything I do is for the 17-year-old version of myself. He built a world where creativity had no limits, and we're all living in it. If you found this deep dive interesting and want to see more of this content, please leave a like and
shout out to FC The Truth.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy FC The Truth, and we're going to get into these Kanye West leaked text messages with Tremaine, all about Virgil. So let's start it off. Tremaine texts Kanye, you still ain't tell people why you weren't invited to Virgil's private funeral, why you rode on him when you knew he was sick.
That's the ether. That's that can't address. That's the stuff you can't live with. All the hate you spewed on brother. Kanye West responds, good to hear from you. Expletive. I hated Virgil's designs, and you did too. If you loved the design so much, why you and Luca not wearing it head to toe? Christine told me he didn't have cancer. I believed her. People don't tell me things. All right, so let's go on to the next text message. Tremaine responds, bruh, I told you he had cancer. You are so full of you know what. Kanye West responds, Virgil never said anything to me himself. I spent most of my life with my mom, second most of the time with Kim, third most of the time with Virgil. I only hired you because LVMH took Virgil, and I love the way you dress, and I miss you. Tremaine responds, I told you, I see you flying everywhere, but Chicago, check on him. No, you fired Virgil. Virgil worked himself for years before the Louis job, and you and no one else destroyed your friendship with Virgil. I'm assuming that's what he said. So then Kanye West gets really, really honest and candid right here. He says, I've made mistakes. I scream. Okay, I'm sorry for laughing, but Kanye's spelling is atrocious right here. He says, I'm assuming he's saying I scream. He said, I scream. Yeah, I'm going to have to edit out my laughing. But he said, I screamed at Virgil. I was jealous of Virgil. I felt betrayed and lied to by Virgil. I felt he gave Drake the green diamond watch just to F with me, but I love Virgil too. I miss him. I miss my family. One thing I wanted to say, and I would have said at the funeral, would have been directly to ASAP. I saw Rocky sitting on one side of the funeral, and I saw Barry on the other, and I just wanted to grab the mic and say, don't let these people split your gang up like they did mine. I'm a leader, and Rocky a leader. Y'all brothers come back together and get behind Rocky the way gang was behind me at one point. So Kanye West, this is how I feel like the Kanye should have been with explaining the t-shirts that he was wearing at the Paris show. Like, this is really Kanye getting really honest. But again, this is like a supposedly supposed to be a private conversation that Kanye kind of leaked to the public on his Instagram. But yeah, he's being truthful here. Everybody, it's no secret that he was jealous of Virgil, and I'm sure Kanye probably said some things about Virgil he want to take back. I'm assuming
they were both mad at that same time,
guys. Like, to say you hated his designs is kind of harsh, but hey, Virgil's an innovator. He's an icon, and we're just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna respect him. He's no longer here, and we're gonna respect that. You guys.
I'll be back. So like I said, man, I don't know what it is with Cardi and Kanye. Best friends turn to enemies. You know what I'm saying? I think they mad because they didn't get the Kanye want to promote his shit, which you can. But when you got other people, as far as rappers who go out, political people who pay that money on to help them promote their shit and does this and that and sign them checks, sometimes they'll get to a situation to where they're not gonna let you around everybody. But Kanye West so fucking used to it because he's in that same type of business. He does the same thing. So he's like, man, fuck all that shit, bitch. You gonna ride with me or not? Because if you ain't gonna ride with me, you can't do no damn thing with my damn daughter. Which is understandable because, bruh, if you ain't finna do nothing with me, why the fuck you think you finna do something with my daughter? Like, you basically trying to go crazy. So Kanye West did what he did, called him all types of names and this and that. Which, a lot of that shit he said, we probably was already thinking that. Zesty vampire. But at the end of the day, man, you know, I feel like, man, they can bring that shit together and be about that business and make that money on and help support the black people as a community. But as we see right now, I don't know how that's going to happen because, like I said, man, rap beef is weird. You know what I'm saying? You can make a tweet, motherfuckers be ready to up and stuck. You know what I'm saying? So we just living in days where, you know, wherever you say, you got to stand on that. And whatever you do, you got to stand on that. Because niggas ain't going to see that, oh, he just doing it because of this and that. And their whole reason he doing it because of this and that. Also, Cameron shit. Cameron just speaking on his standing like, man, nigga, I ain't gonna never suck dick. And I 100% agree with that. Crib. But Kanye West giving it from his standpoint, hey, he telling what happened when he was younger. You know, childhood experiences and traumas and shit. And, you know, like I said, there's probably a lot of people probably can relate to that. Let's be honest. But, yeah, man, so they got to some beef. You know, Kanye West always saying something making niggas mad. Kanye West got beef for everybody, to be honest. Like, he called out everybody. Like, if you're doing a video on Kanye West beef, it'd be like a 3-hour-long video. Let's be honest, crip. And the Virgil shit. Virgil and them used to be best friends. He talking on his death. He don't like him no more because of them not supporting him and this and that. And, bruh, all this stuff, man, is all connected, man. When the industry, them people who control everything with all that money on and shit, the white people try to take niggas out, man, they will. You know what I'm saying? We want to know how it happened. We only go off of speculation. Oh, he got disease. Oh, it's because of a plane crash. Oh, he just had this and that. They can make up anything, and we got to go along with it. So at the end of the day, you know, RP to them, Virgil and them, but at the end of the day, you know, Kanye West speaking his mind on that, and he thinking like, shit, it didn't happen by accident. But he don't like Virgil, you know, and Crip, you know, that's how it goes. Like, you used to be friends with somebody, now you're not. That's how it goes. Hood, Northside, big Crippin', gang, Northside shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. Even though this is instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.